Hello student, welcome everyone. Welcome to today's session, and our today's session it is related to class 8. We are discussing science, and today we will complete our chapter, that is chapter 11, force and pressure. So here we start our session. In the previous video we have discussed about the force, okay, effect of the force and different things. That what force is a push or pull that is applied on an object. Okay, when we have applied push or pull on any object, then it is called as force. And what force can do, it can change the state of object. Okay, it can bring it to the rest, or it can bring it to the motion. And we also discuss about that force, when force come into play, when two or more objects they interact each other, then only force come into play. And we also discuss about the force, that it can change the shape of the object. Okay, whenever we apply the force on any object, the shape can be altered, and it depends on the magnitude of the force. Okay, whatever the magnitude of the force we are applying on the object, and what is the rigidity of the object. Okay, so that is the effect of the force on the shape or size of the object. So today we will start our new session, that is related to the types of forces. Okay, today we will discuss contact forces as well as non-contact forces. Okay, so whenever we are applying a book, or whenever we are doing any activity, for example, we are pushing something, we are pulling something, or we are carrying something. In that case, what we are doing, we are using, without touching them, we can't do that activity. Okay, we have to touch them, we have to be in contact with them. Okay, for example, if we are lifting a book, if we are holding a bucket of water, so in all these conditions, we are applying some force on the object, and there is contact between the object and us. So we can say that when we are and what we are using there, we are using our muscles, we are using our muscle energy. So whenever the force is the result of the action due to the muscles, in that case it is called as muscular force. What it is called as muscular force. The same example we see with the animals also. They are also using their muscular force when they are carrying out the physical activities or any task. For example, the bullock cart, the horses, the donkeys, the camels, all are using their muscles in doing the various tasks. So what we can say, that the muscular force can be applied whenever it is in contact with the object. Whenever it is in contact with the object, then we can say we can apply the muscular force. So in that case, it is called as contact force. What it can call as contact force, because there is a contact in between them. Okay, so this is our first example from the contact force, that muscular force, it is the example of contact force. Or you can also say that in the previous class we have learned about the activities, the respiration, the digestion. Okay, so in the process of the respiration, when the lungs, it is extracting, or it is getting the air, so in that case it is using the muscular energy. Okay, or the food, when food is pushed through the alimentary canal, in that case also it is using the muscular force. Okay, so in these all we are using the muscular force. Now our next topic is, that is friction. What friction is? So just examples are given here. For example, just see a ball, it is rolling around the ground, and after some time it slow down, and finally it come to the rest, but no one is stopping it. It will, at the last it will come to the rest. Or when we are riding a bicycle and we stop pedaling it, we are not making the brake, but after some time the bicycle stop. So these all are the example where there is some force is acting there, so that it bring the object to the rest. Okay, so that type of force, in all the situation, we are appearing that some force is there on the object, but we are unable to see it. which type of force is there. So the force which is responsible for changing the state of motion. When the state of motion of the object is changing, it is known as the force of friction. Okay, it is between the surface and the object. It is between the surface and the object. For example, in the case of ball, it is between the ball and the ground. Okay, it is when the boat is on in the water and we are rowing it. So it is between the water and the boat. If we stop rowing it, then what happens? After some time it will stop. So the force of friction, it always act on the moving object. And this point is to be noted that its direction is always opposite to the direction of motion. The direction of the force, that is friction, it is always in the opposite direction of the motion. Just see here, if the motion is in this direction, the motion of the friction in opposite direction. It is the pushing force and it is the force of friction. So it is always in the opposite direction. So what we can say, this friction, this is also the example of contact force, because two objects, the object as well as the surface, they are in contact with each other. Okay. Now our next topic is, that is non-contact forces. What are non-contact forces? As the name suggests, non-contact means nothing is there in the contact with each other. Okay, so first of all, we will discuss about the magnetic force. Just have a look here, the activity 11.6, it is given to us. What we have to do in this activity, we have to take a pair of magnet. Two magnet we have to take, bar magnet, and one magnet we have to place on the rollers, or we have to place on the round pencil so that it can be rolled easily. And what we have to do, we have to bring one end of the magnet towards the another one. Then we have to change the direction of the magnet. Means first of all we have to bring the same poles, then we have to bring the opposite poles together, and we have to watch what happens. Okay, so what we say, when the unlike poles of the magnet are brought near the other magnet, they attract each other. Okay, unlike pole, there is a attraction between them. And when like poles are together, then there is a repulsion. Okay, then there is a repulsion. So this force excreted by the magnet on the another magnet, it is a type of non-contact forces, because the object, they are not in the contact with each other. Okay, so this magnetic force, this is an example of non-contact force. This is an example of non-contact force. Okay. Now, next topic is electrostatic force. Next topic is electrostatic force. Just see the activity given here, activity 11.7. So just see in this activity what we have to do. We have to take a plastic straw and we have to cut it into two equal pieces. And then afterward we have to suspend one of the piece in the edge of the table, and we have to hold another piece in our hand and rub it with the sheet of paper. Then we have to bring it towards the straw and we have to observe what happens. Then we have to rub the another piece, that is hold on that thread with a piece of paper, and then we have to check it. Just see the diagram here, how we have to do it. Just see, the straw is here, the rubber, paper, and all those things. In this way we have to do it. So what we see? What we see when we bring a straw rubbed, okay, when we bring this straw rubbed with a piece of paper towards this another one straw, what happens? It will attract. Okay, this straw will attract the another one. And when we rub this one, this straw, when we rub this straw with a piece of paper, then they will repel each other. Why? Because when one is charged, they will attract each other. And when both are charged, then it will repel each other. Okay, so this type of force, the force exerted by the charged body on the another charged body or uncharged body, it is known as electrostatic force. It is known as electrostatic force. And the another point to note it comes into play when they are not in the contact, when the bodies are not in the contact. So this is also an example of non-contact force. This is also an example of non-contact force. In your day-to-day life, you have done this activity that you have rubbed the comb with your hairs, or you have rubbed the plastic scale with your hairs, and then you try to attract the pieces of paper, and you are able. So that is only because of the electrostatic force. Okay, so next type of non-contact force is the gravitational force. Is the gravitational force. So many of the general things we know, that whenever we hold a piece of hold a piece of that stone, and when we leave it, it goes towards the ground. The coin towards the ground, the pan, it falls towards the ground. Okay, the water, when you open the tap, it runs towards the ground. Why all those things are like that? Okay, whenever some leaves, or whenever some fruits, they are detached from the plant, they go towards the ground. So these all things are like that, that whenever they release, they begin to move downwards. So why it is like that? What is that force which act on it? So the answer for it, that the object or things fall towards the earth because earth pulls them. And this force is called as the force of gravity. We just say it, that it is a gravity. And this gravity, it is the attractive force. Or the earth, it attracts all the object present on the earth towards the earth. Okay, we are not aware of it. We are not aware of it, but it attracts towards the earth. Okay, and if we talk about this gravity, it is not only the property of the earth. It is for the every object in the universe. Some of there is a small quantity, somewhere it is in the smaller quantity, and this force, it is known as gravitational force. The name given to it is gravitational force. Okay, so all these things are related to the force, contact force, non-contact force, example of them, and their definition. Okay, our next topic is pressure. Okay, what is our next topic? That is pressure. So regarding this little bit, we have also studied in our 7th standard. Then when we studied about the wind, cyclone, storm, what we have studied, that whenever there is a strong wind, what happens? The rooftop blow away. Okay, why? Because there is a difference in the pressure. Why it blow away? Because there is a difference in the pressure. Okay, so what this pressure is? What is the use of it, that we will discuss here? So, few of the examples I have summarized here for you. Just have a look. That a needle has a pointed end. Okay, a needle, it has a pointed end, and that has a very small area. Why it is like that? Because when we apply a large force on the needle, then what happens? The pressure on the needle increase. Okay, because the area is little bit, then the pressure is increased and it moves inside the wall easily. One more example we can see, that when we are holding our bags, okay, that soldier bags, it is having the broad straps. Why it is having the broad strap? Because the pressure can be minimized on the shoulders. Okay, because we know now, when we hold our bag, a gravitational force also work on it. Okay, so the pressure on our shoulder, it will minimize. That's why the straps are broad. Okay, same when we are using the blades, when we are using the knives, the cutting tools, they are sharp edge. Because why? Because the force, when we apply the force, then it will exert more pressure on the surface and the wood will cut down easily. One more example we can see, that when we are seeing that tractor. In tractor there are two tires. In tractor there are two tires. Why? Why there are two tires? Because the it becomes the wider one and it can minimize the pressure on the ground. Okay, if there is very narrow tire or only one tire is there, then what happens? if it is a muddy surface or something else, it will on that higher pressure on that muddy field, and that tire is on that field. So that's why, for minimizing the pressure on a smaller area, the and to become it the broad one, the tires, there are two tires in a tractor. Okay, say we also see in that adaptation chapter that camel, they can walk easily on over the sand. Why? Because it has wide feet. Okay, so that they can walk easily on the sand. So these all, in all these examples, what we are seeing, that the pressure, some force is acting on the area, and that is known as the pressure. So what can be the definition of the pressure? That the force acting on a unit area. Okay, whatever the force acting on the unit area, it is known as the pressure. And how we calculate the pressure? Force divided by the area. Okay, amount of force divided by the area on which it is acting. So what we can say, this, if the area is smaller, the pressure is larger. Force is same, but if a smaller area, then if we increase the area, the pressure will decrease. So that is the reason. That is the reason when we are trying to when we are applying the same force on the nail, the pointed end, it will easily push towards the wooden plank, but the unpointed end, the head of the end, we can't push it towards the, that you can say, that wooden end. Okay, so these all are the examples of the pressure and all. I think the term pressure, now it is clearly known to you all, that what pressure is, what can be the examples for that. Okay, now our next topic is pressure excreted by the liquid and gases. So for it, one experiment is given to you. Just have a look. One activity, you have to take transparent glass tube or plastic pipe. Dimension is also given to you. This much centimeter diameter should be this one, and you have to take a rubber sheet on it, and just see what the things you have to do. Just see, pipe you have to take a rubber sheet also, and what you have to do, you have to put some water on it. Okay, then what you observe, that when you put some water, this rubber sheet, it will bulge out. It will bulge out. But when you increase the quantity of the water, then what happens? It will start bulging out. Okay, it will again start bulging out, and the quantity, it will increase. Rubber sheet will increase. Okay, so same, one more activity is given to here. We have to take a plastic bottle. Okay, and the bottom we have to put this tube, and insert it, and we have to paste it properly so that there is no leakage, and we have to install a sheet here, rubber sheet. Then we have to fill it with water half, then again we have to pour some water. So from these two experiments, what we have concluded, that the amount of the bulge in the rubber sheet will increase when we increase the height of water in the column in the pipe. Okay, as the water is increases, the amount of the bulge in the rubber sheet will also increase. So what we have concluded, that the pressure excreted by the water at the bottom of the container, it depends on the height. It depends on the height of its column. Okay, that rubber sheet, it will bulge out. Okay, rubber sheet will bulge out, and the bulging increases the amount of water in the bottle. Okay, as the amount of the water increases, the bulging will also increases. So what we have concluded, that liquid it exert pressure on the walls of the container. One more activity is given to you. Lot of activity in this chapter. Just see, one more activity is given to you related to it. That we have to take a same plastic bottle, and at the bottom what we have to do, just see, we have to then holes there. Okay, and then we have to fill it with the water. Okay, holes are there, and we have to fill the water. then what we observe that the water from, okay, the water from that holes, they are at the equal distance. The water is at the equal distance. So why? What is the reason behind it? The reason behind it, there is the equal pressure at the equal distance. If it is the height is equal, then the pressure excrete is equal. So what we have concluded, that the pressure will increase with the depth. With the depth, the pressure will increase. Okay. At the bottom, there is the highest pressure, and at the top, the pressure will decrease. As we increase the height, the pressure will decrease. Same is in the case of air also. When we inflate a balloon, when we air the bicycle tube, so in that case also the air excrete the pressure. Just see the molecules of the air on the walls of the container, it excrete the same pressure. Okay, these all are the molecules, and it excrete the same pressure on the wall of the container. So all these things are related to the excretion of the pressure. Okay, now our next topic, that is the atmospheric pressure. What atmospheric pressure is? So we know it very well that there is a air all around us. Okay, and this cover, it is known as atmosphere. And atmospheric air, it extends up to many kilometers above the surface of the earth, above the sea level. So the pressure, some pressure is excreted by this air also. The pressure excreted by this air, it is known as atmospheric pressure. It is known as atmospheric pressure. Now we know that the pressure, what the pressure is, force per unit area. But just imagine the whole earth, the whole that atmosphere, how can we concluded it, how can we calculated it? Just we have a look here. Just imagine, just one column is there. I will explain it in the next slide. Just first of all, this rubber sucker activity is given to you. Just take a good quality rubber sucker like this, and what we have to do, we have to press it hard on the smooth plane surface. Okay, then what we have observed from it. Then when we press the rubber sucker, what happens? The air between the cup and the surface, it escape out. Okay, and what happens? The sucker, it stick on the surface. Why? Because of the pressure of the atmosphere outside it. Okay, so to pull the sucker, what we have to do, we have to use the larger force. Okay, we have to use the larger force. So it is maybe it will be not possible for us to suck it out, because if there is no air between the sucker and the surface. Okay, so this we can say that what the atmospheric that pressure can be. There will be a little bit air, that's why we can remove it. But if there is no air, it is very hard for us to remove it. Okay, so these all things are related to it. Now we will discuss about the atmospheric column. Just imagine, this is the column where the air is excreted. This is the top of the atmosphere. Just see, this is the point X, this is unit area, this is the surface. Now what we observe, that the amount of the atmospheric pressure is very large. Okay, because the surface of the this area earth is too much, but there is no effect on us. Why there is no effect on us? Because the pressure of the air inside our body, it is equals to the atmospheric pressure. We know now all the fluids, the liquid and gases that are present in our body, they also excrete pressure. So there is a balance. So there is a balance between the us, so that we do not suffer because of that atmospheric pressure. Okay, one more question arises, that some times when we go to the higher altitude, what happens? Because of the atmospheric pressure, we suffers from that nose bleeding. Nose bleeding is there. It is why? Because the blood pressure in our body, it becomes higher, because the atmospheric pressure will decrease. Just see na, in the lower portion the pressure is higher. As we go to the up direction, the pressure will decrease. So the outside pressure, it will decrease, but inside us the pressure will be same as it is now. So there is a variation in pressure. So that's why it results in the nose bleeding. So all these things are related to the force and pressure. I think with the help of this slide, all the things are easier for you to understand. But still, if there is any query, just feel free to contact with me, message me. I will try to give all the answer related to your queries. Till then, thank you, take care, and revise the chapter well.